What happens when a self-indulgent author writes a self-indulgent book that is reworked by a self-indulgent script writer to be turned into a film by a self-indulgent director?
You get a movie that's so self-absorbed that they didn't even have time to name their child.
Find out next on Trees in Space. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Trees in Space, the show where we watch all the movies of every genre, and we tell you what the critics thought, what the fans thought, and what we think. Is it worthy of a whole forest or just a stump to sit on? I am Jason, and with me, as always, is Nate. And in case you missed the thumbnail, this week we watched the 2024 horror comedy Night Bitch. Um, yeah, so it's a Netflix movie,
Oh,
in case you did not
so
know. And
so
Netflix makes anything.
you know, I questioned Amy Adams as the lead in this movie, and I thought that Pam Beasley, Jenna Fisher, I think is her name from The Office, would have
Oh, yes.
would have been a much more believable mother to me in this movie than Amy.
Very similar. Well, I think Amy Adams is his actual mother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
and I actually thought it might be her child in the movie because how good the child was acting with the mother. I looked up, the twin boys that were playing that part. Um, like explain, kind of give a synopsis to the people who have not seen this movie. A woman, Amy Adams, pauses her career to be a stay-at-home mom, seeking a new chapter in her life, and encounters just that with her maternal routine when her maternal routine takes a surreal turn. I read that before I actually watched the movie. I was waiting, I was getting excited, something's gonna happen at the house, something that left turn just kept going left and left. I mean,
I kept waiting for this movie to end.
Skip to the end.
I guess
yeah,
like it it was all over the place, and like I get movies about self-discovery, and applaud the idea of a self-discovery movie.
hmm
This movie, first off, boundary issues. Look, I don't care. I'm not peeing in front of my partner, and I don't want my partner to pee in front of me. So when they went into the bathroom together and started peeing, and like dude was
Pooping.
fiddling with his nose and his ears, and
I thought that was extremely realistic.
it was so gross.
It was gross, but it's extremely realistic.
Uh, and then this kid. Let's talk about this kid. Fuck this kid.
Fuck them kids.
It's not the kid's fault that her parents, the parents, the way the parents are.
This kid is the major issue of this movie.
Well, because she's a stay-at-home mom,
Her
decided
choice.
to stay. If she didn't have a kid, she wouldn't be a stay-at-home mom. So yes, it's
Exactly. And all the problems of this movie would have been avoided if they never got pregnant.
the problem wasn't having the kid. The problem was after having the kid, she decided to stay home with the child.
Well, and she is so caught up in her own world.
And self-indulgence,
She is
self-importance.
just her the entire time.
This whole thing, all of this, it's all about me.
And somehow it's the husband's fault.
Oh my God. Yes. I don't even know where I was going with that tangent. I took so many notes on this movie. So I write the dude was making coffee in the beginning of the movie, right?
Mhm.
He asked like, "Oh, have you made coffee yet?" She's like, "No." And he's like, "How many scoops?" And she's like, "I do three." And he's like, "Two?" She's like, "I do three." And the whole time she was like snippy at him. Like he travels for work. He's gone most of the time.
Yes.
Like, don't be upset with dad because dad doesn't know the routine. And plus, you don't really have a routine. And he was trying to be encouraging by saying, "Hey, I read this one thing that if you structured your life like it was work, and you said
Yeah.
these little things, and it should help.
I mean, I will give that to the movie. I think they showed a pretty good, honest depiction of man and wife, child, father leaving for 4 or 5 days at a time, coming back, and she has nothing but the children and the children's mothers. I think that was pretty honest, and
Yeah.
why they get upset. Why like, why are you not doing this? I do this all by myself, and you need me to go get your towel. I get that.
You
That
need me
was
to order
all.
this towel for this kid, and you're over here shitting on the toilet again, taking a shit while your kid is in the
I
bathtub.
wouldn't do that with my kid in bed. Not me.
Boundary issues here, people.
We need to build a wall.
But
Uh,
the fact that she changes because of the self-importance, the writer of this book in the movie, whatever, that women are gods because they had that conversation.
I will give the credit. They are goddesses. They make flesh and bone and all that. Like I got as soon as she said that one line in the movie, I was like, you're absolutely right. Well, going back to the coffee pot. I'm
Yeah.
going in order here.
Right.
Why was there water in the pot? Why did he have to go to the sink to get water when there was already water in the pot?
I noticed that too. I was like, that's weird. There's water in the. Did maybe she cleaned it like after the coffee? She ran to
Who
clean
leaves
water.
water in a coffee pot? Why? And then the random ass dogs in the park that just show up. Like,
It's because she's transforming.
and then she goes to run after these straight, like she grabs her her kid with no name, and freaking goes running after these dogs. And then after the whole point from that point forward is she's a dog.
She's totally transferred. That's the question. Okay, she has 6 nipples, 8 nipples.
Do
We
we
only
give
see
a
6 of
stump?
them.
Do we give a stump for that?
No, no,
Okay.
I'm not. But she turns around to the shower and he sees her whole body. Does the nipples go back in or did he see the nipples?
I don't know if the nipples were real.
I don't think that her tail seemed that was pretty gross when she cut her tail
Oh
out
my
and looked
God.
toward
Right
that.
before that, I wrote, "What is the point of this movie?"
Mm-hmm.
And then I go, "She grows, the hair pus." And then made a little drawing of a guy throwing up. She was playing in it. Her
Yeah.
fingers were just like, ooh, like why?
And she wasn't bothered. She thought it was fun. She was excited by it. And
Yeah.
I know it's supposed to be in her mind and mothers, brand new mothers who seem to lose themselves as a mother. So I'm sure it was all mental to her that she didn't actually turn into a dog. But she did kill the cat.
Oh yeah. And since when is night night a bad thing? Let's go
Right.
night night.
Yeah.
Why does Dad care about night night? And I can't believe they got Amy Adams to get on her hands and knees and pretend to be a dog and dig a
I,
fucking hole in the ground. Like,
I love Amy Adams. There's a reason I picked it because it's Amy Adams and I love her.
I used to like Amy Adams until I watched this movie. She, and then a dog bed for the kid.
And I'm okay with that. The dad didn't seem to like that whole thing. I'm like, you know what? If it puts the kid out of your bed, then you do it. The dog bed's not going to hurt anything. You don't actually have a dog.
The musical choice after that, where it was Dare to Be Stupid, this like techno, like, what montage music are you picking for this movie? Who
I
is
really did enjoy the Dare to Be Stupid though, the Weird Al thing, and she's singing it. And that kind of made me happy. That's the only part of this movie that made me happy. Well, that and the friends group. I did like the friend group, the female friend group. I did like their dynamic. I'll give that. I'm trying to find some redeeming qualities to this movie because the acting was fine, the characters, whatever, but it as a whole was just and like I said, self-indulgent.
And they added scenes that didn't need to be there. Like
Example.
going to the carnival wasn't needed. Like them on the carousel as a family.
Hmm.
Or I was like, why? Do I need it? Do I need to see dad leave every freaking time? No,
No.
not really. And then there's the whole dinner scene with her colleagues, her friends from back when. That was fucking dumb too. Like none of that was needed. Like
I
just
mean,
to call them back at the end of the exhibit when she does
mhm.
her own exhibit after she says she wants she needed time away from her husband. She needed space. Bitch is gone 80% of the fucking time. How
She
much
didn't need time away from her husband. She needed time away from her kid.
she definitely needed time away from her kid. And then it's like, well, where is her family support group? Where, like, make friends with moms. She didn't want to make friends with moms in the beginning. She wanted to hang out with that lone wolf chick, and then she left. And of all of a sudden, she's going on hikes and shit with these girls. They're inviting her over, and then she's Oprah freaking Winfrey coming up with words of advice and like wisdom.
And all these women are looking shocked, like no one's ever said that before. Women say that stuff all the time. I don't know why people think it's shocking that women are having a tough time being moms sometimes, because not everyone should be a parent.
You know, I think that Dare to Be Stupid might be your redeeming quality of this movie. My redeeming quality is when Amy Adams stood up and said, I can crush a walnut in my vagina, and stormed off, stole a hamburger, and left.
That was a good scene. I didn't say it was the only redeeming quality was the song, but maybe I did. But I did like the very beginning when she's in the shopping center or whatever, the grocery store, and then she has that monologue. She don't actually say it, but she says it. But I'm like, oh, okay, so she's having some trouble. Okay, so something's gonna happen. I did like that, but then half the time I don't know what she's saying is actually being said, or if it's just a what she wants to be saying. Because that one was obvious, but most
Right.
of them are not.
Well, and at dinner with her friends again at the
Mm.
colleague dinner, she was talking to them and none of them were listening to her. And it's
Right.
like,
So was she actually talking?
yeah, or do you have a dog tone voice where nobody can hear you talk?
Ooh. And why was she eating the salad? Because she couldn't afford a better salad, or why was she eating that? No one
Yeah,
else
she
was
was like,
eating that
"Oh, this
way.
kale is disrupting me." She's looking at everybody else eating meat. Bitch, eat some meat.
Yeah, she was forcing bad things on her. Like
Yeah.
I, you know, she was in her own self-pity of being a mother. And even the father said, "Hey, I didn't say you should give up this stuff. You said this. I was just supporting you."
Well, and I love that you said that because to me that was the part of the movie that I was like, it's about time somebody stands up to this woman.
Yeah.
Like he's like, you know, I have to deal with this, this, and this, and this, and all that too. Like, you're not the woman I married. You've changed. And she's like, well, that woman died at birth.
Yeah.
Okay, then we should have fucking ended this thing as soon as you shot that kid out of your twat that we didn't have time to name.
Well, I'm sure the baby has a name. They just don't say it. But yeah, because she was so torn between work and that's who she was, her self-identity. It's and I know a lot of mothers watch this movie and they're like, I've been seen. I've been seen.
I appreciated that they actually had Amy Adams painting.
Yes, that was nice.
Like you could actually see the paint on the canvas. That was
Hmm.
actual, not like Tiptoes where she just had a dry pad and she was doing a dry brush
Right.
on the thing. Like I appreciated the actual realism in some of this movie.
I didn't like the fact that her art was a bunch of dead animals. That was
I like that she painted her friends in it.
Yeah, that was nice. I liked it when the husband's like, I don't get it. I I don't get what the animals have to do with anything. But I did not like him goes, I'm in awe of you. I stand in awe of you. I'm like, oh my
Weird.
God, what a beta bitch.
What?
I know I sound like a male chauvinist pig. I know I do. I don't mean to.
You know, I did applaud their co-parenting
Hmm.
for the few time that it displayed the separation aspect of it. Like it was still good. Like I liked that part of it because it's not easy when you're all of a sudden bombarded with the fact that you're no longer in a relationship and a family because somebody decided that things weren't working out that well and kicked you out of the house that you paid for and your kid that you helped make and
Well,
everything.
it
Mhm.
makes you wonder how long of a separation there was before the that thing happened. Was it 2 months, 6 months? It's hard to tell.
Week. And then, he was like, at the end, he's like, yeah, it's a disappointing condo of divorced dads, and all the
None of
kids are
them
just
inside.
sitting by the pool, and there's not a
Mhm.
mom in sight. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. because mom got fed up.
Yeah, and I'm wondering now that you mentioned because and I noticed that the kid didn't have a name, and you've said it a couple times. And I'm wondering if the author of this book or the scriptwriter don't give the child a name because the child haven't given a name to a child would mean the child is a person and not just say obligation
The child is an obligation in this movie.
and not like a real thing that is just a distraction of my life.
The other part that I think needs to be addressed is it's important to step back from the stress of life and just
Hmm.
try to have some fun. Because she was freaking out so hard until she started acting like a dog
Yeah.
and just gave in to the youthful exuberance of a child.
Hmm.
And like, she had the little finger painting session and
Yeah.
she started freaking out when she was cleaning up, like, why did I do this? Well, you wanted to have fun with your kid. You wanted them to self-explore and all this, and
And have fun with it. Yes, I thought that was great too. I thought, and that's the thing because stay-at-home moms and stay-at-home dads, I know it's usually moms, they do need to have adult time. They need to have alone time. I understand the stress that she was going through. I think it's overly done in this movie, but I'm sure there's a lot of women that feel just like this lady does in this movie.
yeah, I think it was a little. I mean, I'm not gonna discredit a stay-at-home parent for at all because I know it's hard, especially before.
Well, you've been one.
Yeah, um, but if you can make a marriage work, that's the best overall plan. That's 50% parenting if you're doing it right. If you split up, that's 100% parenting 50% of the time, and that's a lot of fucking work. Like,
I'm gonna put that on a fucking shirt somewhere. I got to. That's great. Is there anything else on your little notes you would like
nope.
to?
No,
Okay.
I tossed everything to the side. At an hour and 15 minutes, I said, fuck this movie. At an hour and 5 minutes, I decided what I'm going to rate this movie. And at 51 for 28, Dare to Be Stupid.
Dare to be stupid. Okay, well then let's get into the 5-star and 1-star reviews.
Let's do it.
Okay, the first 5-star review comes from Nicole R. As a stay-at-home mom, this is the most relatable film I've seen in a very long time. It does an excellent job showing the hardships and transformations that moms go through. A must-see for all moms and anyone who knows a mom. Doesn't
Nicole,
everyone know a mom?
everybody has one.
Thanks.
Nicole, I want to know when you started to pop your pus sacks full of hair and grow extra nipples. I want to know how that transitions into real life as being a mom. The first 1 star or less comes from Jess F. I like Amy Adams, but this was not her good. Was not good. Her and her husband are unlikable. It's weird, not in a good artsy way, and she kills the cat.
As a dog, or
And she
I
is.
hope she's actually a dog,
Yeah,
and she don't just do it with a knife and she thinks she's a dog, because
out of pure
that's
malice.
worse.
Ugh.
Yeah. The next 5-star review is from Kenka L. The real horror lies in the naturalization of everyday acts that pigeonhole us, that limit us. The movie's dialogue performs and digs deep into our collective memories as women, but also into our collective dreams. Not all dreams are magic. Transgress the normalized way of existing, I'm sure exist by reworking the primal needs and the meaning of our roles.
The next 1 star or less comes from Gustavo R. This movie had good premise. New mom has to quit career to raise a baby almost on her own, which makes her go honkers and turn into a dog. Sadly, even though I'm an Amy Adams fan, the movie fails to be funny. It's boring and sad. The amount of dead animals shown is a turnoff.
Mhm.
Wasted an hour of my life watching the first half that I'm never getting back. This movie gets a 0.
Okay, yeah, I think there's a lot more bad about this movie than good.
Yeah.
The last 5-star review is from Stephanie B. I spent over a decade being a stay-at-home mom. This is the closest Hollywood has ever come to making me feel seen. Amy Adams is brilliant, as is Scoot McNairy. So glad I did listen to the reviews because I loved it.
I'm happy for you.
I changed my name if my name was Scoot.
Scoot. The last 1 star or less comes from ventriloquist Vicky G.
I saw her.
The minute you killed the cat, you lost all moral high ground. I hated you after that. Motherhood is tough, lots of sacrifice for sure. Best thing I ever did, though. I was empathetic until you killed the cat. You'll kill anything.
And that's the truth. In movies, you get away with killing the cat. It's fun. You can make fun of the cat and fling the. You kill a dog and you're hated forever. It's the double standard is just disgusting.
Kill a cat, you'll kill anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
Yes.
skunks and some other big
I
fucking.
don't know where all those animals came from. There were so many different types of animals on that front porch.
And since when do dogs bring gifts like mice and
Yeah,
rats?
cats do that. I guess dogs might. I don't know. Tell us in the comments below if dogs do that. I don't know.
Yeah, does your dog bring you little dead animals?
And the WTF comes from Stephen S., who gives us half a star. Night Bitch is the only thing. Wait, Night Bitch, the only thing worse than the movie was the name. My God, this was bad.
Amy Adams even said the name of the movie in the movie, saying that she was a night bitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's generally the sign that the movie is going to be bad, is if you have to tell everybody why the movie is why the movie is.
Yeah, and that does nothing to do with. I guess she turned into a female dog at night, so she's a bitch, but only at night. So I get it, but it tried too hard to be clever with the name, and it's terrible.
I concur.
So I guess we'll get into the Rotten Tomatoes and the audience ratings of this movie.
Let's do it.
So the Rotten Tomatoes scores this at 59%. The audience, which is you, scores it 10% less at 49%. So
Shame
both
on all of you.
a plague on both your houses.
I spit in your soup.
I fart in your general direction. Your father smells like elderberries, and your mother's a swine, or whatever the hell it was. Oh God. Well, you heard what the critics thought. You heard what Rotten Tomatoes of the audience thought, and now you're gonna hear what we think. I would not recommend this to my surgeon. I would not recommend this to anyone. Okay, maybe I don't even know if I'd recommend it to a mother who's going through some sort of trauma like this or some sort of problems like this, because this is gonna make the mother think that she's 100% correct, and she could be. But I don't want to like feed into their delusion. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to reward bad behavior. And I think this movie could do that. Coming from a man that's never had a baby, never had to squirt anything at my body like that, and then raise it up and have it tear me in half and shoot it. So I come from a place of ignorance, but I do have four. But I didn't do the physical part, so I can't speak to that. I think Amy Adams is a great actress. I think she's a great job in this movie. I didn't like her character, but she still played it well. I didn't like any of the characters. I like the dynamics between the friends at the end. Thought that was okay. Like the mother group, not the friend group. I think the film was fine. I think the script was terrible. I don't want to read the book. I think the director should not be allowed in Hollywood ever again. Um, and this gets nothing from me. I can't give anything to it. And everyone here is dumber just by listening to us talk about it. I'm giving it half a star. Sorry. See, I can't even think of what we rate things anymore. I'm giving it a stump.
Now it's my turn.
There you have. That's very well I would not recommend this to my surgeon. I might consider recommending it to my ex-wife, but probably not. And there wasn't enough weed for me to enjoy this movie. Um, uh, at an hour and 5 minutes, I discovered I decided what this movie was rated. I feel like this movie was complete at an hour. The fact that it was an hour and 39 minutes was 39 minutes way too long. There were scenes that didn't need to be there. There were plot structure points that I felt irrelevant. I generally like Amy Adams, but I did not like her in this movie. Uh, and just name the fucking kid. Instead of her saying baby, baby, that could be anybody. Um, you know, I am going to agree that this movie is worth a parking lot, but we can't give her a parking lot, so it's getting a stump as well. And it's deteriorating because it's been there for so long.
It's rotten. It's hollow.
It's
The
a
hollow stump.
it's a rotten hollow stump, yeah.
Well, everyone, you heard it from us. I gave it a stump. Nate gave it a stump. Not a movie we recommend to anyone. We do appreciate you listening to us and our opinion on it. Please put a comment down there. Tell us what you think. Tell us the movies you want us to watch. Share, subscribe, follow, feed the algorithm monster so we can keep giving out content so everyone can share with us and our wonderful points of view on movies. And we will see you next Monday on Trees in Space.